Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of Pittsburgh City Council for Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. All council meetings are live streamed on the city's website. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross. Here. Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle. Here. Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Mrs. Kilsmith. Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Here.
6 members present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. As we join from our remote locations, those of you who are here, please rise for the pledges of allegiance and remain standing for just a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Point of order, Mr. Kraus.
Thanks. What are we amending on the agenda? We do that often, but we don't really state what we're amending.
So I do not know today. Typically, we amend the agenda to give members the opportunity to submit papers that may not have been on the agenda on Friday.
Gotcha. Thanks, Mr.
And so sometimes they have them and sometimes they don't, but it gives them that opportunity.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
And to do that, we have to now, under our rules, amend the agenda for that reason. The next order of business is proclamation. I do not see a proclamation. However, I do see a will of council. We have a will of council coming from Ms. Strasburger for the Global Energy Action Forum. Ms. Strasburger, do you want it read? How do you?
The clerk has my instructions on how to read it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilperson Strasburger presents, whereas in recognition of all the above, the Clean Energy Ministerial selected Pittsburgh host its Global Energy Action Forum from September 21st through the 23rd of this year. And whereas the forum is a tremendous opportunity to showcase Pittsburgh's capacity to leverage its ample resources to help lead the way into a renewable energy future. And now therefore be it resolved, Pittsburgh City Council supports the stated mission and aims for the Global Energy Action Forum, enthusiastically welcomes participants to share their ideas here in our city, and supports actions coming out of the forum that will advance substantive clean energy solutions rather than half measures that neither address the environmental challenges we face nor break our dependency on fossil fuels. Be it further resolved that a copy of this will of council shall be sent to the Allegheny County delegation of the Pennsylvania House and Senate, the chairs and minority chairs of the Senate House and Senate Environmental Resources and Energy Committees, Governor Tom Wolf, and Acting Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Secretary Ramez Ziada.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve this will of council?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Ms. Strasburger, do you have any other comments?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind everyone the rules of council state the comments are limited to matters of concern, official actions, or deliberation, which are or may before city council. That means that your comments should be directly related to things that are in our jurisdiction and our purview. Profanity will not be permitted. So the first registered speaker that I have on my agenda is Blaine Beatty. Blaine, are you with us? Blaine Beatty. Seeing no Blaine Beatty, our next is Andrea Williams. Ms. Williams, are you here with us? Hello. If you start off with your name and your neighborhood.
Okay, my name is Andrea Williams. I'm a resident of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I have some concerns in regards to systematic oppression and abuse. I moved here in 2019 in pursuit of a more civilized culture, a place where all humans would be protected and accepted equally from inhumane treatment and systematic oppression. My ex has shown numerous signs of an abuser maliciously attacking me verbally, physically, and systematically oppressing me by starting a very painful domino effect. After maliciously attacking me with a knife, I ran for safety. That night, he maliciously called the police, targeting me and seeking the entire system to perpetuate his evil, oppressive abuse, only to later recant his need for litigation. Please refer to Google's LGBT power and control wheel to better understand his actions. He's played off of cultural perceptions and views of marginalized people, and now I'm surviving, but I'm still very concerned. After being targeted by him and then further targeted by officials that were sent to protect me, who's used their power to persuade medical officials that I did not need medical attention, that I was faking for my own gain. My car was maliciously towed from my home address where the car is registered, completely affecting my ability to get to work and affecting my ability to gain future employment. False accusations set by an angry ex, abusing known privilege, and negligent government officials abusing known privilege, then causing me to stay incarcerated longer by denying me medical attention, causing more avoidable trauma that I'm a survivor of. I don't feel safe. I don't feel protected. I feel like a survivor still grappling for a leg up. I was assaulted several times, including July 20th in Allegheny County Jail, even after the alarming death of Victor Zelenek on July 15th. I've lost my job due to this extensive act of abuse. And after Shante Tucker's death in 2018, Governor Wolf released a statement acknowledging the excruciating abuse of trans women of color, promising to protect us, believe us, and treat us with empathy. I'm asking for amends, for someone to make this right and fix the problems created by an abuser and a faulty, negligent system.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Moody, will you talk to Ms. Williams at some point? We will chat with Mr. Moody, who is an official of council. He'll get your information. He'll talk to you, get a little bit more about your story, and see what we can do to be helpful. That brings us to Dr. Ronald Miller, please.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belshoover, also Weimar, Germany. Deutsche Republican Democracy, 1916 to 1933, which Hitler hated. J.S. Bach, Friedrich Nietzsche, Marlene Dietrich, and Paul Feyerabend, among many others, are from or connected to Weimar. I'm a Global Intelligence Society U.S. National Candidate for President 2024, globalintelligencesociety.org. A question which we asked Pittsburghers over the last 3 years, more than 1,000, a minimum of 100 per council district, is do mayor and councilors more truth tell or lie? And over 75% of the people answered one way. Guess what? A Pittsburgh council concern is that the offices of council and mayor intelligently provide us with information on the assumptions that it is not conveyed via what I consider to be ogre brain defective intelligence, not contradicted by broken, very smelly information. In other words, that it's true, verified, and not false, vitiated lies. One, the claim by council meeting presiders that we do not or will not permit profanity is contradicted by Clause 3(4)(c), Rules of Council, that does not include, quote, "we do not or will not permit profanity," and therefore is unintelligently providing intentional dis or anti-information. 2, the concern of council and mayor opposing carbon atmospheric release, believing it to be a primary anthropogenic cause of present-day worldwide warming, is contradicted by the case in Ordinance 2022-0734, approving increased CO2 in the city by proposing not to use concrete in Silver Oak Drive, on Silver Oak Drive, but asphalt, a greater than 75% carbon product that releases more CO2 and CH4, methane, into the atmosphere. That's based on many studies, but one of them is from Carnegie Mellon University. Therefore, it's punching out an action based on both pro-con information and what I consider to be using low-bar intelligence. And 3, the commitment of offices of mayor and council to diversity is contradicted by the near-empty cave of racial ethnic diversity among council and mayor personnel. Where are the Asians? They are our highest educated, best informed, and most intelligent of us. I see a lot more ebony faces. I see ivory faces, but those faces, no, this is anti-diversity while you say you are pro-diversity, and it pinching with a lie. It's racist.
Thank you very much, Dr. Miller. Next speaker, please.
My name is Juwan F. Brown, and I live in the Hill District. This whole week, we were watching the Queen, and you know that she died. But I want to tell you something about how people, dark-complected people from different countries, felt about that Queen. My sister is married to Martin Smart from Zimbabwe. It was Rhodesia at one time. He has a picture of when Bobby Kennedy went to Rhodesia, and he has a picture. It was a big airplane, a big warehouse. They had Bobby Kennedy, young Bobby Kennedy, standing with the people from Zimbabwe, standing and talking to them. I was going with a fella from Ghana who said that, he talks about the Queen. I want to say this, and I know that a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I'm looking at I seen that crown with all them diamonds. Do you know where they came from? They came from Jamaica, Africa, and the different places. And every one of them diamonds, a black person probably died in the ground. You know, they were not allowed to go home to their families except at Christmas. Now, when you say somebody, in Jamaica, when they mentioned the Queen, they said, kill the Queen. Because they said all of their people that have died. You talk about people here on welfare, getting $339 a month or something like that. That Queen got all them diamonds, and all they have to do is sit on their butt and go to meetings. Do you see the diamonds and the gold they stole from the black people from Africa? In Ghana, when Ross was talking to me, he was crying. He said, when the white man came with trinkets and rum, got the king drunk and said, because when they had slaves too. Okay, he said, you should not have to take care of them slaves. We'll take them. So they had built castles that they took them to down up under the ground. So the Africans following thought that they fell off the end of the earth. But he cried, he said, if they had been like headhunters, because they kill even a black man. If you don't belong in that country, they could kill you. And he said he wished they had did the white people like that, killed every one of them. Do you understand? You all love this white Queen, and what did she do? All them, when I seen them diamonds, you see all them diamonds? They didn't come from there. They came from Africa and Jamaica and places. And audience loved that Queen, but she was a mean son of something. Yes, she was. She had slaves.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Flora Williams, and I am an evangelist in the building where I live at K. Leroy Irvis Towers. I have been here quite a few times talking about security, but I can't stand in place. I have to keep going forward. So I'm preparing a petition to send to all elected officials to see what place that we can sit this problem in. We are addressing a very serious problem here. Maybe they don't understand that we should not have to live this way. We have paid our dues. We have paid into our Social Security. There has to be some way that they can take money and put it into having security to protect us. How come there are some buildings that have security and others don't? Only because of money. They don't want to pay for security. And I try to tell the residents, if you put your money into, where you put your money where they can hold it until the problem is resolved. Escrow. If you put your money in escrow, I guarantee you, if they don't have their hands on that money, that they will resolve this problem and get us some security. There should be a security. When we signed our lease, the ones that was here a while, they had security guaranteed in the building for us. Now there is none. How can they reject on something that they have promised us, seniors, and now we don't have it at all? Anyone can enter the building without signing in. There should be someone at that front desk to make sure. I know another senior citizen building, they hold your ID until you come back out to guarantee that you're leaving the building. Okay, we got to have security. The firemen will not even know how many people are in the building. They wouldn't even know if we have to go back to rescue another person because there is no count of who's in the building. There has to be an answer for us. We cannot sit any longer. I'm ready to go to Washington, but I'm going to get this subpoena signed up right now so people can at least see that we're doing something and we're going to work for something. Help us seniors. We should not have to live like this. This is some people, this is the last stop for some of the seniors in that building. People, there's families that are having their children. They want me to move, my children. But I'm going to stand and fight. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, please.
I'm Bernadette from Beachview, and I first have to thank Anthony Coghill. He's on it. I don't want to be on the other end of the phone today when he finishes up on his demands to get rid of these signage litter on our sidewalks and in our roadways and on our corners where they're piled up. Thank you, Anthony. You're amazing. By the way, I seen a brand new one that was a sign post that was put at Fallowfield and Broadway. They used it to put the temporary shuttle sign for the bus when the trolley was not running. It's a flange, very simple. Guarantee you it's probably maybe $7. And then you put your little big boy erector set into it, screw it. And then at top they had those little flag extensions where they had put the sign. Those things, since they're going around bolting useless bike racks, bolt them or attach them to the bike racks so that we have minimal chance of the sidewalks being covered. I talked last week, and I'm sorry I didn't get back to the Congresswoman about the horticulture. But we could really help and benefit future generations. Yes, a nice manicured cancer toxic lawn is nice to look at. However, we have brought back chickens and bees are in decline from Monsanto and Bayer and from their weed killers and everything else. Well, if you have bees, you need the flowering weeds, which are edible. Broadleaf plantain, creeping Charlie, also known as Pennsylvania ground ivy. Take one end of it, slip it through a spaghetti strainer. You can feed an amazing pot of greens to your kids. Pennsylvania smartweed, not because it's smart, has little pink clusters on the end, like little pink balls that you would put on your cupcakes. Smart because it's spicy like a pepper. You can add that to your salads or whatever. Our Pittsburgh wooded areas and side yards that are not cut are filled with these things that the Europeans brought here. Grass was not a norm. So I say, if we're going to have chickens and bees, let landowners, as long as they have, like, maybe they can have a laminated little sign saying, we eat this, that, and this that's growing in our yard. We don't know when the next pandemic comes. We don't know when the shelves are going to be empty. Why not teach our children now the way our grandfathers were raised and beyond? Teach them how to forage in their yards.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, we will move on to presentation of papers.
Just a variety of trees.
First of all, Councilman Coghill for myself, the Chair of Urban Recreation.
Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coghill.
Reverend Burgess presents Bill Number 749, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Parks and Recreation to enter on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh into a license agreement or agreements with the University of Pittsburgh in order to conduct free clinical testing activities for seniors at city recreational and/or senior centers through programs including, but not limited to, those offered by the School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences and the School of Pharmacy. The license agreement shall be at no cost to either party.
That's it? Thank you. Mr. Coghill, Chair of Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill Number 743, Resolution authorizing an interdepartmental transfer in the amount of $2 million from the Bureau of Facilities within the Department of Public Works to the Office of Management and Budget. This transfer is necessary to cover increased fuel costs and unanticipated fleet maintenance expenses. Bill Number 744, Resolution providing for a reimbursement agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the West Carson Street Bridge project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $900,000. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement or agreements at a cost to the City of Pittsburgh not to exceed $1,500. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements. Bill Number 745, Resolution providing for a reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design phase of the Penn Avenue Signal Improvements Project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $753,660. This resolution serves to authorize only the reimbursement agreement at a cost to the City of Pittsburgh not to exceed $6,000. Future resolutions will authorize the project-specific service agreements.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coghill. Is there a motion to waive Rule 8 on Bill 743?
Yes, Mr. Pro Tem. Motion to waive Rule 8 on Bill Number 743.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay.
Aye.
It is so moved. Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 746, Resolution Adopting Plan Revision to the City of Pittsburgh's Official Sewage Facilities Plan for property located at the corner of Sapphire Way and Lorigan Street, Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, at Block and Lots 26H338 and 26H339.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Councilman Kraus, Chair of Public Safety Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill Number 748, Resolution Amending Resolution 898 of 2021, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh into an amended professional service agreement or agreements with Lexipol LLC for software subscription-based policy management, wellness, and training services at an overall cost to the city not to exceed $557,049.67. The current agreement is being amended in order to add funds for 2 additional years subscription to the Cortico Wellness app utilized by personnel in the Bureau of Police, Fire, and Emergency Medical Services.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law. Thank you.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 750, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 647 of 2020, effective December 23, 2020, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2021 Capital Budget and the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2021 through 2026 Capital Improvement Program by reducing bridge upgrades by $500,000 and increasing West Carson Street Bridge tip by $500,000.
Brings us to Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Human Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 751, Resolution providing that the City of Pittsburgh enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with Employers Choice Screening for professional services in connection with pre-employment and promotional background investigations for all City of Pittsburgh candidates, excluding uniformed police, fire, and EMS personnel, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof, cost not to exceed $200,000 over 4 years.
Ms. Strasburger, is there a motion to waive Rule 8 on Bill 752?
We didn't read that one yet.
I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at, which
We
bill?
just read Human Resources.
Oh, Human Resources, sorry, I didn't get to you yet. I'm looking at you on my paper.
I have 2 committees currently.
Yes, okay. That's why it is, okay. Thank you for reminding me. So that takes you to Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, who also is going to present the Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Assets Management. It's the first time I've seen that, right?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Actually, this is the first time in my 14 years, and the president, the former president, Mr. Kraus, has to remind me, I don't remember a member having 2 committees before ever, since we've been here, other than the president.
That's a good question. I think the only time it would ever have happened would be when we were down a member.
Yeah, but I thought the president took over, what I remember, the president took over that committee. Anyway, so just a little trivia.
That would have been tradition.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's the first time, you're the first, for at least my time, the first council person to have 2 committees. Anyway, Madam Clerk.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 752, Resolution amending Resolution 280 of 2020, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements or adoption of existing government contracts with ePlus Technology, Inc. for commodities and professional services for system-critical adjustments, improvements, and upgrades to maintain the City of Pittsburgh's network functionality by increasing the funding.
Thank you very much. Now, Madam Ms. Strasburger, Is there a motion to waive the rule on Bill 0752?
Motion to waive the rules of council on Bill 752 so that the bill can appear on tomorrow's agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The bill has been waived to tomorrow's meeting. That takes us back to Councilwoman Strasburger. We're working her a lot today. On behalf of Mr. Wilson, who is the Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 747, resolution approving a new institutional master plan under the Pittsburgh Code, Title IX Zoning, Article 2, Chapter 905, Section 905.03.d, and Article 7, Chapter 922, Section 922.12.g for Carnegie Mellon University entitled Carnegie Mellon University Institutional Master Plan 2022, dated September 2022 on property zoned EMI, Educational Medical Institution District, 4th, 7th, and 14th Wards, Council District numbers 8 and 5. Bill number 753, resolution further amending Resolution 606 of 2020, effective December 1, 2020, as amended, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an agreement or agreements with agencies to provide emergency shelter services, street outreach services, rental assistance, and housing relocation and stabilization services and/or data collection activities as associated with 2020 Emergency Solutions Grant, funds at a cost not to exceed $1,216,133, and 2020 Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, HOPWA, funds at a cost not to exceed $1,140,292 by amending various emergency solution grant line items and authorizing a subsequent agreement or agreements. Bill number 754, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title IX Zoning, Article 1, Section 902.03, zoning map, by changing from RMH, multi-unit residential, high density, and R1DL, residential, single unit detached residential, low density, to EMI, education, medical institution, 7 parcels in the Allegheny County Block and Lot System, 7th and 14th Wards.
Thank you very much. And now, on behalf of Councilwoman Cal Smith, I have 2.
Council President Cal Smith presents Bill number 755, resolution transferring a total of $410,000 within the 2022 operating budget from the Office of Management and Budget and Parks and Recreation to the Office of the City Clerk. This transfer is to correctly budget funds that are to be utilized by City Council to provide grants to community and sports groups. And Bill number 756, communication from City Controller Michael Lamb submitting a fiscal follow-up report of the Special Events Trust Fund dated September 2022.
On Bill 0756, I believe that I need a motion to read, receive, and file. Is there such a motion?
Motion to read, receive, and file.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That brings us to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before council? Seeing none, we are ready now to move to reports of final action. We start off, as always, with Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 739, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for September 14, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 653, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Natasha Bruce and her attorneys, Jack Goodrich and Associates, P.C., in the amount of $230,000 relating to the full and final settlement of a case filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill number 655, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of O'Brien, Coleman, and Wright, LLC, in the amount of $450,000 relating to the full and final settlement of a litigation including attorney's fees and costs filed in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania. Bill number 713, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of B3 Solutions in the amount of $49,860 for the park tax integration into the old real estate system. Bill number 714, resolution providing for the sale of certain property acquired by the City of Pittsburgh at tax sales, items A through E. 136 Bodkin Street, 1232 Butterfield Way, 236 East Jefferson Street, 3820 Perrysville Avenue, and 3516 Brighton Road. Bill number 715, resolution providing for the conveyance by the City of Pittsburgh of certain property having been placed for sale to adjoining property owners in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh Side Yard Program, items A through EE, 3362 Webster Avenue, 921 Anaheim Street, 3718 Woolslayer Way, 723 North Matilda Street, 0 Shinley Avenue, 128 North Winebiddle Street, 6208 Huntress Street, 649 Paulson Avenue, 219 Mayflower Street, 0 Silverdale Street, 8155 Conemaugh Street, 154 Hazelwood Avenue, 156 Hazelwood Avenue, 521 Sylvania Avenue, 301 Cedarhurst Street, 1546 Methil Street, 215 Fairview Avenue, 1117 Island Avenue, 1119 Island Avenue, 947 Iton Street, 1022 Salter Way, 951 Iton Street, 1202 Seidel Street, 1544 Rhine Street, 1548 Rhine Street, 1918 Perrysville Avenue, 1727 Warren Street, 2445 Snyder Street, 3604 Pennsylvania Avenue, and 3567 Elmers Avenue.
There's one more. Is Mitchell Street? Did I miss-
Oh, sorry, and 1143 Mitchell Street.
All right, thank you very much. You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing now none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Public Safety Services.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 740, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for September 14, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 733, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of public safety on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a police traffic services grant agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, Division of Highway Safety, for the purpose of receiving funds in the amount of $174,468.91 that will be used for enforcement of drunk and impaired driving as well as related outreach activities.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
6 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. That takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 741, report of the Committee on Public Works for September 14, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 708, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections to apply for $250,000 in grant funding from the Allegheny County Department of Community and Economic Development through its Act 152 Blight Removal Program in order to fund the demolition of 1613 Broadway Avenue. In the event the grant is awarded, the parties plan to subsequently enter into a grant agreement to be authorized by separate legislation for the final awarded dollar amount for this stated purpose. Bill number 709, resolution granting a vacation of an unopened portion of Bobby Way laid out in the Summerhill Terrace Plan, number 2328, as recorded in PBV 40, page 476 in the 26th Ward, 1st Council District.
You've heard the read and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 noes.
That brings us to the last committee of the day, which is Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, Committee on Human Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill number 742, reported at Committee on Human Resources for September 14, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 716, resolution amending resolution number 773 of 2017, effective February 10, 2017, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement with Rulis and Pagicchio, LLC, for the purpose of providing legal services in connection with the defense of certain workers' compensation matters and claims brought against the city by increasing the cost by $900,000 for 3 additional years of service.
You've heard the read and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Ms. Strasburger.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to amend. The amendment is technical in nature, was caught by the Human Resources Department after passage last week, and is before council members today.
We have a written amendment on the table.
Sorry, for Bill 716.
All right, properly moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there's a nay. The bill has been amended. That takes us now, is there any more discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross. Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Reverend Burgess Pro Tem.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. That brings us now to motions and resolutions. Is there anything from members, starting with Mr. Kraus?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to share that yesterday I got my Omicron third booster shot. They are available. They are, I went to Rite Aid to get mine. They do have them. They ask that you make appointments to do so. Anyone over 12 years old or over 65 and immunocompromised, are eligible. And the reason I bring this up is I completely forgot I got the booster till I was in the shower this morning and took the Band-Aid off. I had absolutely, and I'm not suggesting this for everyone, I had absolutely 0 side effect from the booster. No headache, no pain at the site of injection, no fever, no chills, no anything. I just sort of sailed right through it and didn't realize till, like I said, I realized I still had the Band-Aid on in the shower this morning. So for those that are considering doing their third booster, they are available. I just wanted to share my experience. I don't mean to suggest that everyone will not have, side effects from getting it, but I'm here to tell you, I was a brave soldier, did it, and I'm glad I did, and it's out there. So please, 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 please think it through and consider having your third vaccination shot. Thank you.
I think that's very important. Anything else from members? I want to share, in a minute we'll be talking about kindness, so it will be off air, but I do want to say something while we are broadcasting. A lot of what I've learned in life, I've learned as a father. And when my son was I think 8 years old, my wife decided to move him from one school to another. I was not in favor of the move. It was a significant increase in investment in tuition and in the child, but my wife thought it was best, and I was not sold on the school. And so we went for a visit, and I remember like yesterday, this particular school has a worship service once a week, and they bring all the kids, and they have worship service, and they bring area ministers and important people to come and say things to the kids. But I'm a pastor. I've been in church before, so I wasn't impressed with going to church. But then they did something that arrested my attention. During the period after that, as part of the service, they brought the kids up. Various children were noted and got commendations for what they called random acts of kindness. They gave awards to kids for picking up pencils for other kids, of helping people on the playground. And in part, this school has a culture of being kind to every student, for the other students being kind. And that arrested my attention, and my wife decided, and I agreed, and we sent not only my first kid, but 3 of our 4 children graduated from that grade school. And those lessons, I think, has stayed with them. They are, for the most part, kind people. I believe in my spirit, more than anything else in the world, that we ought to be blessings and servants to other people. I am an imperfect servant in many ways, I know that, but I believe and teach and preach that it is the goal of our life to serve others and to bless others through kindness. And it is never wrong to be kind, even when people are unkind to you. And I got to work on this a little bit more myself. Even when people are unkind to you, the real way to fight, Martin Luther King taught us that, right? The real way to fight injustice and ugliness is through love and understanding and kindness, and acceptance. And so, in our way, in our little way, in our lives, both here in council and in our lives, I want to just suggest to you, although, I am imperfect, I'll say that again, right? I'm not always that way myself, but let us strive to be kind to each other and to be kind to family and constituents and staff. Let us, in our little world, do all we can to be kind to each other and to the world. And in our little place, perhaps we can make it just a little brighter and just a little bit better. I do have meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, Council will hold an executive session on Bills 711 and 712 as they relate to litigation settlements. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 21st at 10 a.m., Council will hold their standing committees meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday morning. Next Tuesday, September 27th, with sessions at 1 and 2 p.m., Council will hold a briefing on the unhoused population in the city of Pittsburgh. Also next week, Council will hold both their regular and standing committees meeting on Wednesday, September 28th at 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. respectively. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. September 28th for the regular meeting, and at 12:30 p.m. September 28th for the standing committees meeting. To register to speak, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the deadlines. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. We need now, if there's nothing else from members, we need a motion to excuse the absent members to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. We are adjourned.
Bye.